Welcome to the next final chapter vlog. This is a series where I try to finish or DNF all the series that I've started over the last 15 years. We've ended the last vlog a few minutes ago while I'm filming this and ended the vlog with 35 series that I need to DNF or finish. And as promised, I'm starting the new vlog right where the last vlog ended. And the first book for this vlog is The Winners by Fredrick Backman, the final book in the Beartown trilogy. I started this book yesterday and read a little bit over 100 pages from 900. So 15 chapters out of 105 chapters. And I can already say there is so much drama incoming. I already have anxiety while reading the book because Fredrick Backman is the master of foreshadowing and making us feel scared for what will happen to our favorite characters. And he's also the master of doing that and giving us plot twists while doing that, because often these situations are not like you expected them to be. This time the story is starting 2 years after book 2. We had a little bit of summary what happened in these 2 years, and I was pissed off by this summary and the foreshadowing because of what Fredrick Backman did to Benji. I won't say much to the plot itself at this point because this is book 3 and I don't want to spoil anything. But I can say there are a lot of emotions. We have new POVs now in book 3 with Matteo and with Hannah. Hannah is a nurse. And surprisingly, she and her family is not living in Beartown, but in the enemy town, Heat. So we are getting now glimpses into this town, which is really interesting. And I will continue today. And normally I give you updates book by book. But this time we're doing it a little bit different because I'm reading now 3 books side by side. The first one is The Winners. The second one is a new series that I've started. Yes, I have a problem. It is the Book of Azrael, book 1 in the Gods and Monsters series by Nicole. I didn't know what this was about. I haven't read the synopsis. I just knew that this was a very popular series and that one of my friends loves this book. So I needed to read it. I want to read it. And after 100 pages, I'm not sure what to think of the book because I like the story, I like the characters, especially Diana, our female main character. She is super badass, super strong and super powerful, and I like powerful, badass female main characters. I don't like Caden so far. He is the villain for me and super toxic. The red flag is waving and I hope he is not the main love interest, except there is a reason for why he is like he is and he has a redemption arc later in the story. I don't know, but I'm open for it. But I'm not happy with the writing here and the world building. I think it is a bit confusing. The writing is often repetitive, which is a bit annoying. You don't have to throw the thought of the characters or how they are related to other characters in my face. You can be a little bit more subtle about that and use more show than tell. And for the world building, it is confusing for me at this point, 100 pages into the book, that Amber v. Nicole created her own world for this series instead of using our real world for the main world of the story, because it is a world with big cities, with technology like we have it, and I think it would be way more easier to understand where we are and what's happening if it would be our real world. And at this point I don't understand if the humans know about all these mystical creatures that lives under them or not, because sometimes it feels like they don't know and the mystical creatures are a secret and shouldn't reveal themselves. And in other scenes, Diana reacted as if everybody knows. So I hope we get some clarity here in the future. I hopefully will continue today as the winners and as my third book that I'm reading for the vlog, which is Lover Unleashed by J.A. Ward, the 9th book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. And this is a story about Dr. Manuel Manello and pain, and it is my last full reread of this series. So yay! Congratulations to myself that I reached this point. I started the first half yesterday and am a little bit over 100 pages in, and I was a little bit frustrated how long it took for our main characters to meet the first time, because there was some urgency. Payne has a pretty serious injury and Dr. Manuel Manello needs to take care of her as soon as possible so that the situation doesn't get worse. And it took ages for Jane to find him and to bring him to the hospital or the clinic. But he is there now, and the moment they saw each other, it was love at first sight. It was way too much for me how Dr. Manuel Manello or many reacted, because now he knows why he never fell in love with anybody, because he waited for her. Yeah, as I said, a little bit too much, but I can't wait to read more, and I will also do that today, hopefully, because all in all this means I have now 3 buddy reads for this week, because yes, all of these books are buddy reads and I will discuss them with different friend groups. So fingers crossed that I can stay on track with them, and I will read these books side by side this week, as I do often, but I don't film like this. But as I said, this week we will do things a little bit differently, and I try to update you every day how much I've read. So stay tuned. Results from day 2 of this reading vlog. I read 0 chapters of The Winners. I read 0 chapters of Lover Unleashed. But I read 4 chapters of the Book of Azrael. So around 60 pages. And that's something, better than nothing. I used my day yesterday to edit the last final chapter vlog, so it can go out today as I'm filming this, not as you seeing this vlog. And it is an up and down with me and the Book of Azrael so far. I'm not really liking it, but I'm enjoying the discussion about the book. As I said before, I would do a lot of things different, and I'm really annoyed by the amount of flashbacks we have. I think we could have told the story a little bit better, but I like the story that we are supposed to get, and I like Diana, and I will probably tell you more tomorrow. Day 3 with another set of statistics. I read, let me check, 52 pages of the winners, which was 5 chapters. I read 39 pages of the book of Azrael, which was 3 chapters. And I read 74 pages of Lava Unleashed, which was 6 chapters. And I'm now halfway through Lava Unleashed Part 1, and I'm liking it so far. The love at first sight aspect is a little bit too much on both sides of this relationship, but I said that before, and I'm pretty annoyed by Quinn's POVs because there is so much whining, and I get why he is whining, but in the end he is the problem and he just has to change his behavior to get what he wants or leave it be. Both is okay, but how it is now, it is annoying and I just wish for him to be happy. And my heart is breaking for Vicious. He is in such a bad state right now that I'm really fearing for him. But I hope his friends and Jane can set his head straight and he gets better soon and can talk to his sister, to Payne, our female main character, and get in a better position. And of course I'm rooting for Manny and Payne. It is difficult right now because she's a vampire, he's a human, and they removed now all the memories Manny has of her. But this is a bittersweet process, and he has a lot of migraines now when he tried to remember things. So hopefully they can fix this soon and bring them together. We'll see. For the winners, I have to say that I think in chapter 4 it was mentioned that someone is dead now, that someone died, and I am now 20 chapters in and still don't know who died. It is mentioned here and there that someone is killed, and you just get glimpses that they say, "What, dead? Oh my god," but they never say who it is, and I want to know. I'm prepared for this now. Please tell me. I hope Fredrick Backman reveals the information in the next chapters, because the more I get into the story, the more I fear that it is this person or that person, and that could have happened to this one. So please tell me. And for the book of Azrael, I can say the 3 chapters I read yesterday were a bit better than the chapters before. I still don't like the amount of flashbacks we have, but the story gets interesting now, and hopefully I will have time to read all 3 books together, at least a little bit. If I can reach this goal, I will tell you tomorrow. Day 4 update. I read yesterday 60 pages of the winners, which was 6 chapters, and finally in the first chapter of what I read it was revealed which person died, and I was right with my suggestion that I had. I don't know if I'm happy about something like that, but I'm glad to know now, and that doesn't mean that everything is happy now. Not in this series. It is always a lot of drama and tragic and dramatic foreshadowing, and we will have that for the whole story probably. So I'm always a little bit scared of what will happen next, and we'll continue to read today. But before that, I will update you on my other books. The book of Azrael, I read nothing yesterday. I'm still at 27% of the book. I haven't had the motivation yesterday to continue the story because I was still a little bit annoyed about what happened before and the writing. And instead I read a lot of Lover Unleashed Part 1, which resulted in 10 read chapters, and that is 109 pages. So I'm now at 77% of Lover Unleashed Part 1 and want to finish Part 1 today so that I can continue with Part 2 tomorrow. We will see if this turns out. I'm still liking most of the story, especially the part between Manny and Payne, our main characters. I like the whole drama, even if it is a little bit too much, but that is the series. I'm annoyed by Quinn. I'm annoyed by the new POV of Xor, if this how the name is pronounced, I don't know, Xcor, but nonetheless with him we have not only a new POV but a new group of vampires that moved now from Europe, the old land, to the new world, to Caldwell, the city where our whole plot takes place. So I think this group will be future main characters, and I don't know what to think of it because I don't like Xor. He is super grumpy, super mean, and gives me more the feeling of a lesser than one of the good vampires. So we'll see about that. And as I said, I tried to finish part 1 today. Wish me luck and let's read. Day 5 recap. I have read yesterday 0 pages of the winners, but I read 100 pages of the book of Azrael, so 8 chapters, which means I'm now at 41%, and I can say surprisingly I'm entertained by it. I'm enjoying it now at this point. I struggled a little bit with the first chapters yesterday, but after that I started to enjoy it and I'm here for it. I want to read more today, and I also want to read more of Lover Unleashed because I finished Lover Unleashed Part 1 yesterday. It is a little bit annoying because we have really forced miscommunication between our main characters Manny and Payne, and I think that is totally unnecessary, but I can't wait to read more and I want them to get the happy end. So I will start Lover Unleashed Part 2 today. This has 330 pages, so I tried to read this week. We have Friday today. I have a day off work because we have the Easter weekend now, and in Germany this goes from Friday to Monday. We have 2 official holidays. So let's start reading, but before I continue reading the books for this vlog, I will start another one now. It is A Shadows of Self, my Sunday Read With Me book. So I will read that today so that I can finish my vlog for Sunday. Day 6 wasn't as successful as I hoped it would be. I read nothing of the winners. I read nothing of Lover Unleashed Part 2. But I finished my read with me for Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson and filmed that. And I continued the book of Azrael and read 95 pages, so 7 chapters, and am now 55% into the story. And as long as I'm not questioning the word building, I can enjoy the story and can enjoy the banter between the character, the whole back and forth, the whole dialogue, and the parts where they annoy each other. Yes, it's not perfect, but it's entertaining me, and that's the most important thing. So I will continue today. We will see how much I will read. Fingers crossed I can read in all 3 books. We will see. I haven't anything big planned today. It is Saturday. I already done my grocery shopping. I will ride with Yassi in the evening and continue the story of Emma and Oliver, but except from that, I should have a lot of reading time. So let's see. Day 7 was a pretty successful reading day, I would say. Let me check my notes here. I read 190 pages of the winners, so 14 chapters. So that means I'm now at 40% of the story, and I'm really liking it. I can't say much to the plot because it is book 3 of a trilogy, but it is, as I would say, a typical Fredrick Backman from my experiences with book 1 and 2. So you're always a little bit scared for what happens next to our characters. And the stakes are high because Fredrick Backman wants to build up the tension, and he is a master of that. So I don't know if I will continue today, but definitely tomorrow, because today is Easter Sunday and I will spend the day with my family. So I don't have that much of reading time today, but that's okay. I enjoy spending time with my family. But before I do that, I want to update you on my other books. So the book of Azrael, I read 107 pages. That were 6 chapters, and I'm now at 69% of the story. And it is an up and down with this story. I don't know if I like it, but I also can't say that I don't like it. We will see how my opinion is after finishing the first book of this series. It is the Gods and Monsters series, but so far it is a wild and rough ride. And the last book I want to update you on is Lover Unleashed. I started part 2 around midnight because I wanted to start it and I wanted to give you an update today. So I read 75 pages, 5 chapters, and am now at 21% of part 2 of Lover Unleashed. And I'm liking that we are getting a little bit of hope for some characters and that some things will change now, that they will hopefully change their behavior, and that we get a little bit of hope for happy ends again. I like where the story is going at the moment. I like that Manny is integrated into the whole Black Dagger Brotherhood team, because as a surgeon he can do a lot for the Black Dagger Brotherhood. After they fought the Lesser and there was a pretty bad battle now, so he needed to rescue some lives. We will see how that goes, because at this point I don't know how this relationship should work between a mortal human and a nearly immortal vampire. So I can't wait to get that solved. But for now, this is my update. I try to continue the book of Azrael and Lover Unleashed today after I visit my family. So wish me luck and I will see you tomorrow. Day 8 was also pretty successful. I haven't read any of the winners and I haven't read any pages of the book of Azrael, but I read 277 pages of Lover Unleashed Part 2, and that means 25 chapters, which result in I finished Lover Unleashed Part 2. I had a very long reading night. I finished the book at 4 a.m. and inhaled the 277 pages after I came home in the evening. So you can say I was entertained by it and that I liked it. There were, of course, some things that I didn't like so much. We had a lot of spicy scenes in Lover Unleashed, more than in the books before. I don't know if I like that. I think Manuel, our main character, was too horny in these spicy scenes. It was cringe, but I really liked Payne, our strong female main character. I still think the explanation for why she can walk again after her accident came a little bit short, but I'm happy that she's back to her old self and that she can fight, that she can be herself, that she is loved by Manny and her brother, that her brother Vicious and Jane figured out their problem and can be happy again. I didn't like the scene between Vicious and Butch. If you know, you know. The whole scene felt super wrong. Even if I liked the thought of the scene, it wasn't good written and felt very toxic and wrong and very triggering. I don't know what to think of Zor and his new people that arrived now in Caldwell and how this storyline will go. I missed a little bit the lesser POVs in this story, and I don't like to say that because I don't like the lesser, but they are an important part of the plot and they were missing here because of the new Zor POVs. I missed Lasseter, I missed no one. Both weren't mentioned at all. I wished we had more of Thor in the story because his story is the next one and he just wasn't mentioned a few times here on the side, but hasn't had own POVs. But I know at this point there are a lot of people, a lot of POVs, and it is difficult to put them all in one book. So G Award changes things up a little bit from story to story. And we have different POVs that build up the side plots of the main love story. And as I'm speaking of side plots, we also had a side plot with the policeman Jose de la Cruz and Thomas the Vecchio, who is also a policeman. There is a serial killer murdering young women, and they try to find the serial killer. And a lot of the time I thought, I don't know why, but I have the feeling I know Del Vecchio from some story, not from this series, but I figured it out. I googled it afterwards, and Thomas Del Vecchio is one of the main characters in Envy, so book 3 of the Fallen Angels series. That is why I know him. I read the Fallen Angels series a few years ago, did a reread of the first 2 books and read the whole series. But if I'm honest, I don't remember much of the story, especially of the last 2 or 3 books. And I talked to Marin, my buddy read partner for the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and she hasn't read the Fallen Angel series at all. So I googled if there is a reading order for both series together, and yes, there is. And that's why we are now switching series. We are reading next Fallen Angels book 1 and 2, and after that book 3, because in the reading order I found on the internet, book 3, Envy, is the story you should read after Lava Unleashed, and we want to do that. So we need to read book 1 and 2 first. So this will be our next reads, and after Envy we can continue the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. So I won't get into new territory now and have to wait a little bit for that, but that is okay. I like the whole experience here and the exchange with my buddy read partner, and can't wait for that. We will read book 1 of the Fallen Angels series in May, and I think we will still read 1 book per month. So let's see how this goes. And for today now, I plan to read a lot of the book of Azrael. I have 220 pages left. Let's see if I can do that. Update for day 9 of this vlog. I read nothing of the winners, but I read a bit of the book of Azrael. Not as much as I wanted, but 60 pages, so 6 chapters. And I am now at 78% of the book. I have 160 pages left of the book. I'm enjoying it again at the moment. So we'll see how the rest of the book goes, and I will decide at the end of the book if I want to continue the series. I don't know at this point yet, but I will keep you updated. Day 10 I read nothing for this vlog, but on day 11 I read a lot of the book of Azrael, which means I read 108 pages, so 8 chapters, and I am now 93% into the story, and I'm intrigued by the story at the moment. So I can't wait to continue. I have around an hour left of reading time. So I want to finish the book today on day 12 and will give you an update in a few seconds. It's been a few days since I've updated this vlog because I finished the book of Azrael on Thursday, so on day 12 of this vlog, but I waited to share my final thoughts on this to show you the German special edition that I've got. I wanted to hold this in the camera, and it arrived today. I think it's super beautiful. This is the naked hardcover. It has gold foiled end pages with the main characters, and it has a letter from the author, and the dust jacket has also stunning artwork. So I wanted to share this with you in this vlog, and I wanted to tell you that I really liked the ending of the book. That was all that was left on the story. and I am really intrigued by the ending and want to know more about the story. But I debated about this now a few days, and I don't think this series is for me. And with that, I don't think I will continue the series, because as I probably said before, I can't remember at this point, I didn't like the world building, I didn't like the writing style at some points. I see the potential in the story, and I could like the story if it was edited again, but all in all, it is not worth my time. I know there's a lot of people that really love the series, and I hope you can enjoy it too if you want to read it. It is just not for me. And with that, we have one book left for this vlog, which is The Winners by Fredrick Backman. I haven't read anything on day 12 in The Winners. I just finished the book of Azrael. On Friday, day 13 of this vlog, I read 24 pages, so 3 chapters, and was at 42% of the story, so I haven't read that much because I also filmed the Read With Me vlog for Shadows of Self for the Sunday. On Saturday, day 14 of this vlog, I haven't read anything. 0 pages, not a single book was touched, because I helped friends to move from one apartment to the other and spent the whole day with my friends. But I used the Sunday for some serious reading. Sadly, not for this vlog. I only read 22 pages of The Winners, so 2 chapters, and am now at 44% of the book, because I dived into Vicious Fae, a book that I have started in January and finally finished now after I read a lot of it on Sunday and Monday. So I haven't read anything on Monday for this vlog, and we have now, when I'm updating you, Tuesday, so day 17, and I probably won't read anything in The Winners today, but we'll see. I want to film my Read With Me vlog for The Little Friend today, so that's on my list, and I'm continuing my buddy read with Yasmin with The Right Move by Liz Tomford. So also not for this vlog, but I am reading, and I want to finish The Winners this week. As I said, it's Tuesday now, because I want to finish this vlog this week to upload it next week, so you can see it. And that's all for the moment, so see you in the next update. I got a good chunk of reading done yesterday on Wednesday, day 18 of this vlog. I read 114 pages of The Winners, so 15 chapters, and I am now at 57% of the book. My general feeling for the third book in this trilogy is that I don't like it as much as book 1 and 2. I had a more personal connection to the characters in book 1 and 2 than in book 3. Because book 3, The Winners, is more about the small towns in general, so Beartown and the enemy town Hid, and how this whole conflict develops now over time. And of course there is a lot of drama, a lot of personal conflict, etc. But I'm not as emotionally connected as in the books before. But I'm still liking it. I still enjoy reading the story, and I'm still enjoying Fredrick Backman's writing. So hopefully I get a lot of reading done today too, because today is a holiday in Germany. It is May 1st, so welcome May. And I can't wait to get a lot of reading done today. My first task is to film my read with me for Sunday, so the next Shadows of Self reading video. I will do that after my vlog update that I'm filming right now. And after that I want to continue the winners. Day 19 and 20 update for this vlog. On day 19 I read 118 pages, so again 15 chapters, and am now at 70% of the story. Yesterday on Friday, day 20 of this vlog, I read 0 pages because I finished another book. But today is completely for the winners. I have 30 chapters left, 30% of the story, and I'm determined to finish the book today before I visit my parents in the evening. So I won't talk much about it now and we'll start reading. I did it! I finished the winners, and with that the last book of this vlog. I didn't finish it on Saturday like I wanted, but I finished it yesterday on Sunday, so on day 22 of this vlog. This took me pretty long, but the winners was pretty chunky with almost 900 pages, and it was also a pretty heavy story, so I took my time with it. But the last probably 150 pages were so good. I cried more than one time. I think 3 or 4 times in this 150 pages. It got really emotional. I was emotional about what happened in the story. It got super heavy, super triggering, so please be aware of that. And let's check the numbers. I read 169 pages on Saturday, so 25 chapters, and was at 89% of the story at the end of the day. I had 1 hour and 27 minutes left of the audiobook with 1.6 times speed, I think. And I did some immersive reading here, so I read and listened to that on Saturday after my family event. And that was 97 pages, 5 chapters, and I finished the story. As I said, the ending was super good, super heavy, super emotional, and exactly what I wanted from the story. So the last 150 pages, definitely 5-star potential, but the rest of the book lacked a bit for me. Not because I didn't like the story, but I think I've said that before. Book 3 was more about the general conflict between the two small towns and how it all turned into war, and I was not as emotionally invested as in book 1 and 2, where the story was more personal. But I got that in the end, so I really like book 3. But I loved book 1 and 2. So even if I really liked book 3, it was the weakest part of this trilogy for me. But I finished the trilogy now, which means we are ending this vlog with 34 series that I need to continue our DNF. Let's remember we started this vlog with 35 series. I've started another series with the Book of Azrael, so the Gods and Monsters series by Nicole. But I finished the Book of Azrael and decided to not continue the series because the writing of Nicole isn't for me, even if the story has potential. So I was still at 35 series at this point after the DNF. And now I finished the Beartown trilogy. I'm at 34. So one number down, it is better than nothing. And I hope I can be at least a little bit more successful in the next final chapter vlog. Remember, I want to get this number down to 25 at the end of 2025. So I have still 9 series from my list to finish or DNF, plus all the series that I will probably start over the year. So a lot to do, but I hope you keep me company on this journey. It is super fun to work on all these series. And please tell me in the comments if you have also read one of the books I read in this vlog, or if you also do a serious challenge. Like the video if you want, follow my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!